Hello Ranger Nation, welcome to my YouTube channel. Recently, Toei released a trailer for the Zenkaiger movie. This movie will be called Skikai Sentai Zenkaiger, the movie Red Battle All Sentai Rally, and it will be released on 20th February 2021. We will see a lot of villains from previous Sentai seasons returning in this movie, but along with them, there will be a movie exclusive villain who will be called as Super Warumono World. He's an amalgamation of all the boss villains from previous Sentai seasons. So, in today's video, we will break down and analyze the body of this villain. The body of this villain is based on the Black Cross King from Go Ranger, which was the first Super Sentai season. Next, when we zoom into the head, I can see it has references to 16 past Super Sentai villains. The top of the head is a reference to Saturn Egos, the leader of the Secret Society of Egos and the final boss villain from Battle Fever J. Below that, we can see a face that resembles Emperor Agdos Gil, who was the final villain in Kaizoku Sentai Go Kaiju. Next, we see a big eye, which is a reference to Führer Taboo, who is the main boss villain for Dai Sentai Goggle 5. The face below the big eye is a reference to Great Emperor Ladius from Flashman, and she is the final villain for that season. The face is a reference to Brajira of the Messiha, who was a boss villain for Tensou Sentai Go Seiger. The lower jaw is a reference to Dokuku Chimatsuri from Samurai Sentai Shinkenger, and he was the boss villain for that season. The face below the lower jaw is a reference to Long from Junken Sentai Geki Ranger. He was the final villain for that season. The black face below Long is a reference to Fuher Hell Saturn, who was the boss villain for Taiyo Sentai Sun Vulcan. The white tip at the bottom of the cross is a reference to Iras, the final villain for Kishiryu Sentai Ryu Soldier. The purple banks on the sides are a reference to Dr. Heinler, who was the boss villain for Denji Sentai Mega Ranger. The red horns on the sides are a reference to boss Tauzant from Ninpu Sentai Hurricaneer, and he was the boss villain for that season. The brown pieces on the sides are a reference to Captain Zahab, the main villain for Seiju Sentai Gingaman. The purple tentacle pieces on the sides are a reference to Wicked Life God Dezumozorlva, who is the boss villain for Bakiryu Sentai Aba Ranger. The tiger-like pattern on the sides is a reference to Daimaou, the boss villain for Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger. The left tip of the cross is a reference to Dogranio Yaboon, who was the boss villain for Lupin Ranger vs. Path Ranger. The right tip is a reference to Galactic Super Beast Vulgyre, who was the boss villain for Chikyu Sentai 5-Man. The wing-like structures on the back are a reference to Gangetsu Kibaoni, the leader villain from Shuriken Sentai Ninja. The golden tentacles on the sides are a reference to Earth Emperor Zeba, who was the final villain for Hikari Sentai Masked Man. The two eyes on the torso are a reference to Great Boma Emperor Lagorn, the boss villain for Kusoku Sentai Turbo Ranger. There is a golden face in the middle of the torso, but it's hidden by cross-shaped face. That golden face is a reference to Dark King Zelfiza, who was the leader villain in QQ Sentai Go Go 5. The whale-like face on the lower torso is a reference to Don Dolnero, the boss villain from Mirai Sentai Time Ranger. On the left hand, the claw is a reference to the Messiah's final form. He was the main villain for Tokumei Sentai Go Busters. The forearm is a reference to Rainian agent Abrella. He was a secondary villain for Tokuso Sentai Deca Ranger. The elbow is a reference to President Gynamo, who was the main boss villain for Gekiso Sentai Kara Ranger. On the right side, the tentacles are a reference to the final form of Absolute God Enma. He was the final villain for Mahou Sentai Magi Ranger. The forearm is a reference to Star King Bazeu, and he was the boss villain for Denjeki Sentai Change Man. The elbow is a reference to Gorma 15. He was the boss villain for Gosei Sentai Dai Ranger. On the waist, there is a picture that represents the face of Emperor Bashu's Wrath, who was the boss villain for Choriki Sentai Oha Ranger. We can expect the combined combatant to return too, as a lot of past foot soldiers are also returning for this movie. If you don't know, the combined combatant was a fusion of all the foot soldiers from previous Sentai seasons and he appeared in Kaizoku Sentai Gokaiger, the movie The Flying Ghost Ship. So, are you excited for the Zenkaiger movie? Do let me know in the comment section below.